Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This video is going to be for students as well. As we have said before many other times in many other videos, that we have to think of English as a language, not as a school subject. If I think of English as a language, that means I would think of language acquisition, acquiring the language, not learning about the language. So if you would like to acquire a language, you have to think about how children acquire Arabic, for example, how children acquire their mother tongue. They start with listening. So this video is going to be about listening. How can I develop my listening skill? You might listen, you might just listen. Even if you don't understand, you have to go on listening. Because according to Chomsky, he says that we have a decoding system. This decoding system in our minds, it is activated of the language it receives. So if we have a twin and one of them went to Egypt, one of them went to India, this decoding system of the Egyptian one would move into Arabic, and the one for the Indian would move into Indian language. So listen, just listen. Even if you don't understand, even if you are not concentrating with it, yes, just listen. You would help your decoding system to be activated in English. So you have to listen. First, you have to listen in English. You have to listen to English. Okay, only listening? No, you can take more steps. You might listen to gain some details or to point out details. So in any passage or any text, spoken text you are listening to, you might point out names, you might point out places, you might point out even grammatical rules. So you have to listen, and then you develop this listening process by pointing out. You point out details, any kind of details. Teachers might help you to decide the details you are looking for. But even if you are alone, you might listen to something. For example, you might point out numbers, years, adverbs, nouns, verbs, whatever, tenses. So it's very easy. Listen to English in a movie, even in a song, news, TV news. So you can listen, and then you just with a paper, even if you are not going to write, just give it marks or symbols. So I will listen today to point out tenses, to point out verbs. I will listen today to point out headings. I will listen today to point out names. I will listen today to point out adverbs. So you listen to point out details. This is very important. You do not care so much about the content of the text, but you just, especially if you are a beginner, you just try to point out some certain language details, for example, or linguistics details, like verbs, nouns, prepositions, even whatever. So just try to point out some certain details, so you will be a little bit attentive, or you will be observing or highly observing the process of speaking or pronunciation. So listening and activating the speaking process, actually listening mainly activating your language and affecting your speaking process. So by nature, it is something like the receiver or decoding system. If you send some symbols for it, whether it is written or it is being listened to, it is going to be activated, and it will affect the process of language in your mind, and it will affect the process of speaking, and after a short time it will affect the process of thinking. So you listen, you activate your language, you start to affect your speaking skill, and short time it will affect your thinking process, and that will affect your writing process. I wish this is helpful for students. And if it is difficult to listen for a teacher speaking in English, You might listen to the video more than once. You might watch the video more than once. That will help you a lot to gain more about the video. Just like reading a story or watching a movie. You might watch a movie and you do not understand all the events in the or all the scenes in the movie. So you watch it again. So try to do this, to apply this to your learning process. Thank you. I wish it's helpful for you and for me. Thank you.